two-year sequence in the regular season in the history of the NBA. 67 last year. It'd be 75 this year, even better than the Bulls, who followed up their 72-win season with a 69-win season. Of course, the Bulls, that was their second three-peat. They was an older team. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman were older players compared to the youngsters of Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. And nobody on the Warriors plays 35 or more minutes. And, you know, Klay and the young guys, they are young and they are spry. But they asked Steve Kerr and they asked Klay yesterday about this debate here, St. Lee, at the end of the year. Rest versus record.
Our team wants it. They've made it pretty clear. So what we're doing is listening to them, trusting them that if they're injured, they're going to let us know. And if that's the case, we'll give them a rest. If they're not and they feel like they're perfectly capable of getting out there and playing, and that's what they want to do, then that's what we'll do. So it's impossible to control injuries. An injury could happen during practice. So you can't try to predict anything or, you know, hold guys out and be guaranteed of anything. It's more a matter of listening to our players and hopefully accomplishing a few things at once. You know, preparing for the playoffs, staying healthy, and if we can break that record, that'd be great.
For us young guys, though, we pride ourselves on playing as much as possible. So when we're older, that's something we'll think of. But for me and guys my age and younger, we just want to get out there and hoop as much as we can.
We've been talking about this for weeks, St. Lee. They don't want to rest, and they want the record. Remember what Joe Lacob told us? No breaks. They're going downhill for this record. It's pretty obvious.
Well, they've earned it, and I'm going to underline earned, because they've played fabulous basketball, and when you're knocking on the door of this record, they want to go for it. And I think Steve Kerr has just handled this beautifully. He's listened to his team. He's been very judicious with practices. He's given guys plenty of rest. The better they play, the less minutes they have to play. So if Klay, Steph, and Draymond are going into the fourth quarter, they're up 20. They can keep them in the low 30s in terms of minutes. This is one of the last back-to-backs. So they've still got a lot of home games. They're going to be rested enough to get to the playoffs. And as Steve talked about the injuries, he's correct. It can happen at any time. And I think, frankly, that's the key to the whole season. If they're healthy, they're going to repeat.
Yeah, without question. And they do want to tighten up their game a little bit, even though they are winning virtually every single game. When you look at their defensive rankings, last year they led the league in defensive rating last season. This year they are merely fifth in a lot of categories that are concerning. The opponent's points in the paint. They're giving up too many. You want to shut down the three ball, which they're doing, but the opponents are dribble driving them, going to sometimes 2 point guards to break down the penetration off the dribble and to get inside. So let's talk to some of the Warrior better defenders. Certainly Klay Thompson's one of the best, Andrew Bogut's one of the best, and the head coach, and find out what they're seeing from their defense, because at a lot of numbers, Saint, they're not defending as well as last year.
We were #1 in the league defensively last year, and it's one of the reasons we were able to win the title. You have to be able to rely on your defense during the playoffs. The game becomes much tougher at both ends, and so I'm confident that we're going to be really good defensively in the playoffs. So we'll pick it up a little bit, but we just can't build bad habits. That's the main thing.
It's been great when we play with a high level of intensity. We just out there kind of loafing around. That's when teams get comfortable against us. But when we're, playing off our instincts and switching with some force and trying to contest every shot, we're the best defensive team in the league in my mind. So with us, it's all about focus and intensity. If we come with that, shoot, we're the best on defense.
Well, our defense hasn't been great all year, really. I mean, maybe early on in the season, but our defense has been average at best throughout the year. I think we all need to take an onus on getting better on that front, because in a playoff series, you're not going to win a playoff series or get to the finals without being able to lock down. Hopefully we don't treat it as a switch that we just turn on. We've gotten a little bit better a couple of games before the last couple, and then now it's gone back the other way where we're giving up 100-plus points again. But we are playing teams that, Philly, nothing to lose. They can just throw up shots and has no bearing on their season. So you got to factor that in a little bit too. But our defense definitely has to improve going into the postseason.
Yeah, but this team has been turning on the switch defensively all year. We see it in games where they'll be kind of leaky in the first half, come out and just give you about 5 or 6 minutes where they turn it up and the game's over. So they can play good defense when they want to, when they have the energy to.
But that's the sign of greatness, Pop, that they can turn it on and take charge of the game and put the opponent away. Not many teams have that ability, and I agree with Andrew. I think that they've got to start to get this going in the direction of their lockdown defense. Now, there's a lot of fatigue. We're getting toward those last games. Mentally and physically, they're tired. But if they can get the defense going, along with good health, the offense will just take care of itself. But those two great defenders are right on.
Yeah, the offense is the best in the NBA by far. It was last year. It's even better this year because Steph is better, Clay is better, and they are vibing in the same game a lot. They combined for 60 the night. Clay went for 40 and Steph went for 20. But the previous 2 games, they each had 30. We're seeing it more and more. And the beauty of them, you could have Steph on the ball, or you could have Steph off the ball and Clay off the ball. And I know what you love, St. Lee, when they go to the set, when they run your floppy, and you say the floppy series quite a bit. So St. Lee is going to break it down with a St. Illustrator presented by Metro PCS tonight. You actually went to the Warrior facility yesterday, and you're going to break down how they run their floppy set, huh?
We've dissected a lot of the Warriors' offense, transition games, some defense, and then some half-court stuff. So what we're going to look at is one of the most popular plays in the entire NBA. The visual signal is like this, signal floppy, or you may just hear the verbal signal floppy. And what it gets you to is a 1-2-2 set. Let's take a look and we'll talk about it. We're looking at another half-court action that a lot of teams in the NBA run. We used to call it our thumb series. Now it's called floppy, and it's a double stack down low. We've got big, small, big, small. So we've got 5 and 3, 4 and 2. Got Steph up on top. Now, the action in this is very simple. The bigs are going to pick for the smalls. You can come across, set a screen for him, right here, just there you go. You guys are going to cross and come out. You guys are going to headhunt these guys. There you go. Now I'm going to teach you a little something. If your screen is like this, you're telling him to go to the corner. But if your screen is like this, you're telling him where you want him to go. You want to come up the lane, right there, inside shoulder to inside shoulder. And you guys will come off of there. And again, we're in 3 out and 2 in. Either side you pass to, you can exchange with the weak side wing. Does that make sense? Everybody got me? All right, let's jog through it. This is a play, I'll bet you guys that 70% of the NBA runs. All right, when you're ready, you're dribbling up. There's your screen. Good, he comes out. Hit, screen away. Good, now you're playing. There you go. Change it. There we go, we go in the box. Everybody good with that?
Good stuff, St. Lee.
Well, these are great high school players, and I'm going to share with you that it's a play that you can run point forward. Instead of Steph being on the top, we could see Andre Iguodala up there, and we also see our great point power forward. We could put Draymond up there. So that makes it unique, and we love to get Steph Curry off the ball so he can utilize baseline screens. Very popular play. Here's an example from earlier in the season. Just follow Steph and Clay. They're going to go downstairs in the paint, and you're going to balance out here and get your bigs on either side. So Clay can set a little screen there. They can cross. They can come out the same side. The key is that Steph and Clay use the screens right there of, in this case, Harrison. And up top, we see Andre Iguodala. And what you're trying to do is screen the small to create a good shot for Steph or for Clay. That's a good example of it, and it's why it's unique. Great players make a play great. The fact you can put Andre up there or Draymond makes it special. And the fact that you've got the 2 best shooters in the NBA coming off baseline screens, that opposing coach is really worried about that floppy play, Pop.
And usually they run this late in the game. When they go small, they can put Iguodala up top, and you want the ball out of Steph's hands where they can't just trap him. And how do you load up on Steph? He's coming off one side of the floppy. You got Klay Thompson, the second greatest shooter in the history of the league, coming off the other. What do? You can't load up your defense on Steph there.
If they switch out and send the big who sets the screen for Steph, if that guy and Steph's guy go out with him, you got Andre up top or Draymond who are going to rifle right over the head of the defender and throw it into Bogues for a dunk. So you got to pick your poison defensively. And that's why it's a quality play, because Steph Curry is the best shooter in the NBA.
And you got Klay coming off the other side. So you got two of the best catch-and-shoot guys in the entire NBA. You got Klay Thompson, who goes for back-to-back 40-point games on Friday and Sunday and wins his first-ever Western Conference Player of the Week award. Steph Curry's won it 5 times this year alone and 7 times in his career, and he's going to win maybe unanimously the league MVP this year. There's a stat out there that I look at above all others, a player efficiency rating. And Steph's numbers, he's been shooting the ball a little sideways lately. Last 3 games, he's at 27% on the 3-ball, so the numbers are down. He was well over 32 for most of the year. Right now, he's just barely ahead of Wilt. And by the way, both of those years for Wilt, neither one did he win the MVP. It was Bill Russell, your guy, winning 3 in a row. But we're talking about one of the greatest single seasons in the history of the NBA from an individual, also doing it for what might be the greatest team in the history of the NBA, Stanley. So how does he not get every single first-place MVP vote this year?
Well, we think he should get every vote. The quality of these shots, the way he handles the ball, the way he passes the ball. He's a great leader. He's really loved by his teammates and coaches. This guy is very unique and special, and we are very blessed to watch him every night.
And when you look at what he's going to do here back-to-back, he's going to win the MVP back-to-back. If the Warriors win the NBA championship back-to-back, only 2 other men in the history of the sport have won the league regular season MVP back-to-back years, and his team also won the NBA championship. Michael Jordan is one, and the other is the Lord of the Rings in professional sports, William Felton Russell, who was here tonight. 11 of 13 seasons in the NBA, a champion with the Boston Celtics, 2 NCAA titles on the hilltop with Coach Wolford at USF, and 2 NCAA championships. Bill Russell's here tonight, Stanley.
Back in Oakland.
That's your guy.
Back where he grew up. What a guy. He's the #1 ambassador in the NBA.
What a great night to go to the arena. Sean Livingston is back, no longer resting. Leandro Barbosa will have to play a little bit more, I think, tonight. Brandon Rush is not available against John Wall. And Bill Russell is there to watch it, the Lord of the Rings, to watch the guy wearing the rings.
With a shot as pure as any in the game, Klay Thompson has been lethal beyond the arc during the Dubs' 4-game win streak. The 2-time All-Star has back-to-back 40-point games for the first time in his career and become the Player of the Week. Tonight, the challenge for him and Steph Curry is slowing down a career year by John Wall as the Wizards are fighting to stay in the playoff chase. The Warriors hope to take one step closer to history right now. Washington and the Warriors will always be linked. That was the opponent to win the first championship in West Coast history. The Wizards in town fighting for their playoff lives, and the Warriors chasing history. Steph Curry at the point guard spot, everyone going for the MVP, and John Wall having a career year. The matchup of the point guard, one to watch tonight. Hello, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald alongside Jim Barnett. And, partner, Washington scares me. They've won 6 out of 8. They're a desperate team. They're on the outside looking in. And for the Warriors, it's the 2 games tonight and then going to Utah.
Yeah, the next 2, you're playing playoff-bound teams, hopeful playoff teams right now. And Washington, very capable. They were in the playoffs each of the last 2 years, went to the second round. Now they're 2.5 games back. They're hungry.
You update the standings, and we begin with the Western Conference. The Warriors' magic number to be the 1 seed is 5. They still don't know who they're going to play in the first round.
It's really a battle down there. 6, 7, 8, 9. It changes daily. But the Warriors right now, they are going for history, going for win number 67 and going for win number 54 straight at home.
In the East, Chicago and Washington on the outside looking in. Look how competitive the East has become.
Yeah, this is what's so surprising with Washington, because they've beaten Miami twice. They've beaten Cleveland twice. They have beaten Chicago twice, and yet right now they're behind the 8 ball. They're a better team than that.
This should be a fun game because both teams have a ton of firepower. Washington gets up and down, and the Warriors 115 points a game. But they're also the most unselfish team in the NBA. And for the Warriors, it's not just the number of assists, it's the way they get their assists. There are 3 main components when the Warriors move the ball.
Handoff, pick and roll. You throw it back to the man who was dribbling the ball. Then you get a 4-on-3. I love Bogut. The big man loves to give the ball up. They just share it. Gladly so.
In transition, runners are rewarded.
Steve Kerr says, pass the ball ahead. When you do that, selfless passers, an unselfish team. Everybody gets to handle it. You've got great scores. You get open shots. Tonight, though, transition defense is a very important ingredient. They've got to get back because these are the 2 fastest running teams in the league.
And maybe the fastest guard in the league in John Wall. The point guard matchup is one not to miss tonight. When you look at John Wall and Steph Curry, you can make an argument this is a career year for both of these players.
It certainly is. Numbers are up. John Wall has found a shooting touch. Could not shoot threes. Now he leads the team with made threes, and he is maybe the fastest player in the league with the ball in his hands, and that includes Russell Westbrook.
There is no argument anymore for the best backcourt in the NBA. Washington may be in the debate. No, Steph Curry has a tag team partner. This is the best backcourt we watch. The other Splash brother, Klay Thompson, the player of the week. Back-to-back 40-point games. Terrific two-way player, offense and defense. Klay is ready to roll. Warriors and the Wiz coming at you. Greg and Gary back in the studio right after this.
Well, the usual 7:40 tip-off inside Oracle Arena is going to be about 10 minutes late tonight. This is a national broadcast as well. And the first game of the doubleheader is running a little bit long, but we got a great matchup tonight. A pair of 3-time All-Stars apiece. Steph Curry up against John Wall. Last time we saw him in Washington, D.C. on February the 3rd, Steph was clowning. He went for 51. His first quarter was incredible, 25, 11 threes. But John Wall made shots that night, came back and scored the most points the Warriors have allowed all year, and the most he scored in a game, 41. Warriors won, though, 134-121. Big game for the Wizards right now. They're on the outside looking in at the playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. So John Wall was asked this morning at the Wizards shoot-around if the Warriors can be beaten.
Well, they're a team. They're a team that's beatable. Yeah, everybody knows that. But you got to play a heck of a game to beat them. You know what I mean? Because even the game it look like they're not supposed to win. They find a way. They just got a way. They stay calm and poised throughout a whole 48-minute game. No matter how much they're down or up, they stay poised and they get themselves a chance. At our game at home, Steph hit 11 threes, and we still had a chance in the fourth quarter to win the game until they went on the spree where Iguodala hit some big shots. And we started missing a little bit, but we had opportunities right there in our face. So, we feel like we're a team that if we don't turn the ball over and we defend well, it gives ourselves a chance. It's easier said than done. You want to get them to limit take less threes, but it's easier said than done.
All right, tip-off tonight's going to be at 7:47. He is here to entertain in the interim. Greg Papa with the saintly one. Gary St. Jean. Last time we saw John Wall, he does turn the ball over excessively, about 4 times a game. He's a streaky shooter. But that night, Saintly, he was shooting the outside shot. He made 17 of 24 from the floor.
I love players that improve their game year to year, Pop, and he's really elevated his assist numbers, and he's shooting better from the perimeter. Now, watch this example here. He's much better in a situation where he doesn't have to dribble and then shoot the three. That's very different from Steph. When he gets a pass and he's got his feet set, he really locks in and makes shots. I think that's an area of big improvement for him. Now we're going to see him in a pick-and-roll action. And again, what you want to try to do is get him to shoot that three off the bounce. Don't let him get down around the free throw area. Normally, they're going to go under on a screen. He loves he loves a lot of space. And look at the space. You got 4 red shirts on the right side of the floor. He can take you left or right. And, Pop, we know this. This guy can really take it to the rack in the half-court game as well as the transition. He can be his own fast break. You can argue, baseline to baseline, this is as fast a guy as we have in the NBA. And let me share with you, he has gotten strong. He is big. He can get in there, take a hit by the bigs, and finish at the rim. His game has grown a lot. Problem is, he's had a lot of teammates hurt all year long, and they've really struggled.
And the beautiful part of this matchup, there'll be no cross matchups tonight.
No.
Clay will not be checking him. Steph Curry will be getting John Wall tonight, and Steph takes the challenge. It is a great matchup back and forth. They're very underrated defensive players, and they can drive it to the goal extremely well. And the reason being, Klay Thompson's got his hands full with Bradley Beal, who was healthy and playing better. But Klay right now may be playing the best basketball of his career. He has just been voted yesterday the Western Conference Player of the Week, and he has to go against Bradley Beal tonight in a great matchup of 2 guards. And but the thing about Klay is he can guard you as well. You know, the game against the Clippers, he went for 32. He held J.J. Redick to just 13 points, and then he went for 40 in back-to-back games. So right now, he could not be shooting and playing any better. But again, like he did against J.J. Redick, he has to chase Bradley Beal through a series of staggered screens and pin downs all night, and then on the other end, go and try to shoot the ball. And then Bradley Beal, he's been largely injured throughout his career, and like Harrison Barnes and Festus, he will be a free agent in the offseason, restricted. We'll see if they match the offer. But to me, he's the key to their team, Saint. When he is aggressive and looks to score, this is a hard team to deal with.
Well, to be aggressive and to score, he's got to get minutes and he's got to be healthy. And when he is, you make a great point. They utilize him like the old-style 2 guards. They like to run him off baseline screens versus just drifting and shooting threes. This guy has the whole package. He's not as big as Klay, but let me share with you, Klay will take this challenge. Nobody guards guys on the baseline. He and Jimmy Butler are the 2 best in the business. It's a 2-guard, handling guys coming off baseline screens. That's what makes Klay so unique. He's got to be in fabulous shape to do the job on the defensive end, and then, by the way, have this phenomenal week on the offensive end. This is a great matchup. I think Beal has a very big upside if he can stay healthy, and when he is healthy and puts up numbers along with Porter and Morris, this team can really score. The key is the Warriors will defend better than Washington.
All right, and for the Warriors, they are 66-7. Let us not forget what they're doing here. They're chasing 72 and beyond, 72, 73, 74, 75. How are we going here? If they do win out the rest of the way, again, after they had their 67, they would get to 67 wins this year. When you add up maybe 75 and 67 from last year, it'd be the best 2-year run in the history of the NBA, even better than the Bulls when they followed up their 72 20 years ago with a 69. So we shall see. You want to stay undefeated at home. Bill Russell is here to watch the game, Stanley. I think that's going to be enough motivation in itself, the Lord of the Rings here tonight.
That just excites me. He's back in the Bay Area. He's a legend, the greatest winner in the history of the NBA, and he was the best defensive player ever in the NBA, and the Bulls were a great defensive team. Watch the Warriors tonight play D and win this game.
Oakland-born, McClymonds High.
There you
before
go.
He went to USF and the Boston Celtics. Bill Russell there to watch. Enjoy it. Warriors basketball comes your way next.
It's time for tip-off. Here is Fitz and JB.
All right, Western Conference Player of the Week, Klay Thompson. Inside, sold-out Oracle. The Wizards only visit to the Bay Area. The Warriors in their city jerseys. They are down a player tonight. In addition to Festus Ezeli and Andre Iguodala, Kevon Looney, Brandon Rush will not play. Sean Livingston, after being rested on Sunday, is going to play. But for the Wizards and the Warriors, you're talking 2 teams with Washington at 104 points a game, the Warriors at 115. You will see some up and down basketball tonight.
Number 1 and 2 in the league in fast break points. The Warriors average about 20.5. The Wizards average 18.5. But last game, Bob, can you imagine? The Wizards had 38 fast break points against the Warriors, and the Warriors won that game going away with Stephen Curry's 51.
Our Xfinity starting lineups. First for the Warriors with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. For Washington, John Wall and Bradley Beal, Otto Porter, Markieff Morris, the midseason acquisition, and Marcin Gortat. You take this next 48 hours, and you think about playing Washington right now and then going to Utah to play a desperate Jazz team fighting for a playoff spot. This will test the Warriors.
5-game Western road trip for Washington. They won the first game against the Lakers. After this, they go Phoenix and Sacramento, Phoenix, and then the Clippers. But you're right, 2 nights in a row, tough.
Steph Curry. We're open a 3 to begin the ball game and continuing that NBA record streak of threes made in 144 consecutive games.
He shot that one with a lot of confidence.
Klay Thompson fouling Bradley Beal. Kenny Bauer, David Guthrie, and Derek Richardson will blow the whistles tonight. See, there's no issue that John Wall and Bradley Beal are a tremendous tandem. The issue is keeping Bradley Beal healthy.
Yep.
Having missed 25 games.
Every year.
Randy Whitman has seen his team win 6 of the last 8 games, but still be on the outside looking in as far as playoff positioning in the East.
Well, this team has been up and down all year long. Bob, they've had 3 separate 4-game winning streaks. They had a 5-game winning streak, but they've also got a lot of losing streaks. You know, win 4 in a row, lost 5 in a row over the month from February till right about now. Lose 4, win 5, lose 4. Goes up and down.
Yeah, they're erratic. Bogut and Draymond tried to return the favor, and Markieff Morris had good vision on the ball. Shot clock at 4. Draymond recognized he's got to launch a 3 and curled it out off iron. John Wall has made the jumper serviceable to take advantage of the amazing quickness and full court skills. Draymond with the steal. They had the right idea, but kicked out of bounds. Still Warrior ball. Klay Thompson's been on a roll, Jim, these last several games.
NBA Player of the Week. Back-to-back 40-point games. 32 the one before.
40-point games. Back-to-back, the first time in his career to do that. And Klay right on cue.
Now, he didn't have to go 100 miles an hour. You just see how he held off the defender just by keeping his body between him and the defender, and then had a free rein to the basket. How about that block shot?
Block Bradley Beal. That's where you could leave Wall alone in years past, but now 35% three-point shooter, much more serviceable mid-range jumper.
Right around the screen from Bogut. Never let his defender Bradley Beal get back into play.
Oh, Curry had Markieff Morris on skates. He could do nothing but just grab him as he flew by. The ball handling of Stephen Curry at times is unfair to bigger men.
He understands stop and go, and then a little bit of a wiggle and a waggle, especially against a bigger man. No chance.
Klay with the fadeaway 3 and rattled that out. Washington is 25th in field goal percentage defense, so you can get what you want against them. Beal missing the jumper there. Long rebound, and Harrison Barnes with the quick hands, and Steph behind his back to avoid Wall. And then Curry the one-footer and missed it short. And here comes the speed merchant. Beal running right with them. Get at the high post with the shot clock now at 9. Curry springs free, used his body, and will get to the line. He kind of jumped into Beal to make sure he got contact.
Very clever move. And you watch as he comes off that screen. He gets blitzed, and you get a big man to reach for the ball. Well, you're going to see it right here. So he throws the ball ahead. He pushes the ball ahead, then runs to it, essentially. He actually exposes the ball momentarily, and I believe he might do that. We have to ask him on purpose, because when you get the ball exposed out there, you get bigger men reaching for it, and they don't move their feet. It's kind of a ploy that you can use to your advantage if you're quick enough. And he certainly is.
So Steph still wants that goal at 50, 40, 90. Still above 90% from the foul line, hitting a ball. Markieff Morris score well in Phoenix. Missing the jumper there.
Yeah, he's starting. This is his 21st game after the trade, and he started now the last 15. He's helped them.
Clay having it knocked away.
2-on-1.
And Otto Porter running the floor.
He's come alive too. Porter has.
Washington forces the third most turnovers, and Klay Thompson a response from 3.
He's oblivious to Bradley Beal running right in front of him just prior to the launch. His focus is remarkable. Didn't see the ball there defensively.
ISO for Gortat. That time Bogut played him well.
That's one of those times, okay, it's my turn to shoot.
Yeah. Klay Thompson, a deep 2. Tim, he's got it stuck on automatic. His last couple of home games.
And he's been shooting really well from the elbows. More and better than along the baseline. Knocked it down there from the baseline. You got to take what the defense will give you.
Bogut didn't leave Morris, and Draymond's got the rebound.
Yeah, Morris feels rejuvenated.
That was a seamless 4-5 switch defensively. That was sweet. Fun to watch Andrew and Draymond play together. Klay Thompson, another 3.
Boy, is he on a roll.
I don't think Steph and Klay don't know about all the backcourt comparisons. Wall and Bradley Beal are quality. Markieff Morris with the pump fake and finish. Promised you offense, and first 5 minutes have not disappointed. Draymond's got an ISO. Now he'll go himself and get all the way inside. Couldn't quite bank it in. Wall is always on the go. Steph bothered him just enough.
Well, he moved his feet, did a great job. Stayed in front of him the whole way.
Curry from the corner. Otto Porter will push.
You don't know about Otto Porter, but he was the 3rd pick just a few years ago. He's a good player. He's been in double figures over the last 15 games, I believe.
Draymond went to send it down, and Gortat making sure he's got to earn it from the line.
Wizards foul, showing with 13. Gortat, first personal, 13 foul.
Nice little pocket pass. He was going to flush that one home. And when Gortat hits you, you know it.
Well, his whole family, all boxers. Archie Gortat started as a boxer. Draymond hitting the free throw. All Warrior games on CSN are streamed live with the NBC Sports Live Extra app on your mobile phone or tablet. Now also available on Roku and Apple TV. Stream the Warriors on the go. So the free throws down. Warriors have opened 5 of 10. Washington 4 of 11. That's the easiest steal of the season for Curry. Wall there, and a good recovery to block. They tracked him down. And Morris with an offensive foul. Steph asking Kenny Mauer, did he get me in the head?
Step to the passing lane. Makes it easy. Not so easy to finish with that kind of pursuit.
Did he hit him in the head? Yeah. He did. So Nene checking in. We have 3 Brazilians in the ball game tonight with Leandro Barbosa, Varejão, Nene. They also will comprise a big portion of the Brazilian national team in the Olympics in Rio in August. Harrison Barnes a deep 2.
First shot attempt after 6 minutes, knocks it down.
3 straight double-digit scoring games for Harrison Barnes. That's kind of a good sign. The Warriors will like that trend to continue. Randy Whitman will take time. 5:51 remaining in the first. And the Warriors behind Klay Thompson out to the 8-point advantage. 4 of 5. Who's the best shooter in the building? Klay Thompson is on fire.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. Warriors up 8 on the Wizards. With just 9 games remaining in the regular season, the Warriors were at shoot-around, gathered around a 10-year-old little boy who was delivering a very strong message to finish well. And that boy is Ezra Freck, born without a knee and only 1 finger on his left hand. He later had that leg amputated and a prosthetic one to replace it. He spends much of his time as a motivational speaker, sharing his story. Now, when he's not uplifting others, the 10-year-old loves to play basketball. He thinks of himself as an athlete, not disabled. So after speaking with the team, he stayed for shoot-around, he jumped in on drills, and hung out with Stephen Curry pregame.
That is a great story. And a great young man as Porter is fouled by Klay Thompson.
Very inspirational. What an attitude. What a personality. And Steve Kerr, before the game, they talked about it during the press conference, and he said he's 10 years old and he's a motivational speaker. I've never heard of one, but he's legit. Never heard of one at that age.
He's violating all those child labor laws at 10 years of age. Already a success. Good job, Ezra.
Well, you can see how, just by that little video, what kind of personality he has.
That's. You mentioned Otto Porter, who's shooting at the line. That draft where he was the 3rd selection. Anthony Bennett, Victor Oladipo taking in front of him, but a few other guys I liked in that draft. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Dennis Schroeder, and Rudy Gobert, who we will see tomorrow night. Those were all later picks in the draft. Porter went 3rd, right in front of Cody Zeller and Alex Len, and then Nerlens Noel.
Otto Porter averaging nearly 12 points a game, career high.
So 2 out of 3 from the line. First playing time for Leandro Barbosa. Curry's got Marcin Gortat. Mid-range.
But did you see how far Gortat, their center, came out? He came out nearly to half court because he knows Steph can launch from there.
Curry, good vision on the ball, knocked it away.
That means you can get around him anytime you want. When a big man comes out beyond the top of the 3-point line, I'll use that word again, you own him. Thought a lob was coming into Bogut there.
Harrison Barnes missing that 3. John Wall always pushing. See that quickness, but unable to finish around Barbosa. And Draymond on the counterattack. To a running Barbosa, back to Draymond to lay it in.
The outlet pass, that's what got it going initially.
Warriors playing some solid defense here. Limiting Washington to 31% shooting. Top slipping the screen, and he will draw the foul.
He can go left or right, and he finishes left there, has a chance for a 3-point play. There's that outlet pass right at the 3-point line to Draymond. And that's just a nice little, they made it a 2-man game, and 2 defenders didn't know which way to go. And they left Draymond Green open. Barbosa was right on the spot.
So Bogut will sit. Anderson Varejão checking in. Gortat, 3-point play. He is a very solid, dependable center. Marcin Gortat at nearly 14 and 10. Those are the turnovers that frustrate everybody. The players, coaches, Warriors have cut down turnovers In the last 10, averaging about 12. The one area now, Jim, in the last 10 games, opponents are shooting 38% on threes against the Warriors.
Yeah, well,
that's one of the worst in the league.
They've fallen down a little bit. Got to learn to chase people off that line.
Nene inside. Yeah, the Warriors were #1 in opponents' threes, and now they're 4th.
Part of that reason is, and it's going to sound contradictory as we watch Curry do a little bit of work. Can he hit it? Nope.
Barnes reloads Steph, and there's a 3.
I was going to say defensively, they played small a lot, and so no shot blocker. They pack it in a little bit more, and they're not going out on the three-point shooters because they're all trying to rebound and help out. So that actually worked against them.
Nene unable to finish. Steph had missed 5 shots in a row. Jared Dudley kicking that into the stands.
Nene, one of the higher paid players on this team, but plays under 20 minutes a game, averages under 9, averages less than 4.5 rebounds a game this year.
Steve Kerr will use the timeout. The lead at 6. Curry made his first 3, missed 5 shots in a row, but on the reload, dropping it in.
Of his career. So congratulating
Warrior lead at 6 with 3:25 remaining in the first. Our Lexus pursuit of perfection. Klay Thompson may have the most perfect jump shot that we have in the league. If you had a training video on how to shoot a jumper, I don't know that it gets any better than that. And the Ford Right choice selected as the Western Conference Player of the Week. That's a pretty good week there, partner.
Not bad at all, especially that bottom 4-0 record, but knocking down the threes, scoring, and he's playing right now the most confidence he's ever had in his career.
And 4 of 5 with 9 points tonight. 40-point games becoming a regularity.
Dribble handoff goes the other way.
Shot clock at 5. Bergeau is fouled.
Wizards foul, charge number 2, John Wall, first personal.
You know, John Wall looks stronger to me, too, this year, Jim. He is filled out a little bit. He's a little more spindly when he first was selected.
But I never thought he was weak before. You know, he was always strong with his body, but he was definitely smaller. His shoulders and arms are much bigger.
Ney switches out on Steph. Bergeau couldn't quite collect that pass, so.
You know what it does for Wall when you see his build, little stockier look, makes him look like he's shorter than 6'4",
Okay.
doesn't it? You watch him run around out there, you think he's 6'2", but he's not. He's a big point guard.
Ney and Bergeau, they've battled in their country several times.
Well, Nene's got talent. It's just if he's going to give it.
Bergeau is fouled. Well, you just hit on Nene's scouting report. When he's engaged, you have a problem. And yet he'll float in and out of games for some reason.
Up and down. This is a nice little pick and roll. He's there, but you get the weak side help and the foul. He probably thought halfway down there if that ball was coming, he's going to have a dunk. Uncontested. Hey, good to see Sean Livingston back.
Sean rested on Sunday. And Steve Kerr talking about just kind of a mental break as well as physical for some of the players. Bergeau has gone to the Ron Adams School of Shooting, Jim. Wider base, feet set, and free throw is up to 68%, and those look really good.
Ron likes to work with big men.
He does. Got a little shot doctor to him. Breaking guys down, doing the same for James Michael McAdoo. Quick hands of Bergeau. Beautiful steal.
Bergeau did a great thing. He retreated defensively, got great position. And Nene lost his balance.
Steph tried to throw that through bodies. Here comes Wall off to the races. Ney, that is a load for Draymond with the shot clock at 7. Wheels around and couldn't quite finish. They're tracking Stephen Curry wherever he goes.
Yes,
Multiple bodies. To make other Warriors beat them tonight. At least that's the early game plan. Barbosa from the baseline shot it long and strong.
And Nene let him go.
Wall, what a pass. Dudley out of the corner, can't hit.
He's a good three-point shooter. They're fortunate there.
Washington shooting 37%, Warriors 44. And Livingston, his patented pogo stick jumper is off. Wall drawing the foul. Draymond could do nothing but grab him. I'm impressed with Washington's defense.
They're working harder. Their defensive rating has gone down from last year when it was 5th in the league. They've gone to around 20th.
I mentioned they've won 6 of their last 8 games. Jim highlighted this is a make or break Western trip.
Just isolation.
Curry to the steal. Curry in a foot race. Garrett Temple and Curry dunked it down with the right hand.
Ooh.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, not. We've seen it, but not when it's contested.
That's the best dunk of Stephen Curry's career.
I agree with that 100%. He didn't want the same thing to happen that happened earlier against Wall. This is one terrific finish.
Demonstrative. He had something to say after it.
Well, you see, easy to diagnose. They were going one-on-one, but that was speed, jumping ability, and power. I think Temple was surprised.
Curry playing the D, forcing Temple into the miss.
Not quite time enough to do a 2-for-1.
Steph's got a little something going with Garrett Temple right here. He had something to say to him after he dunked.
Well, he sure did.
He got into his shot there, and he wanted him just kind of one-on-one to end the quarter. That's a deep 3. Dudley will track it down. Porter was fouled and flipped it in.
Another three-point play possibility. They haven't hit a three-point shot yet, but when you foul and they make the basket, gives them a chance for a 3. He knows exactly where Temple is. And he just said, I'm not going to take a chance here. I'm going to go right to that rim and beat him to it.
He had something to say right after that, too.
He sure did.
Every game, he gives us something different. It's Curry cramming in transition. Not seen that. Porter completed the three-point play. If you're Randy Whitman, you're pleased. You're shooting only 38%. You're within 5. Livingston at 2. Sean at 1, and that will do it for the quarter.
Well, it wasn't a 30-point quarter for him, but it's only 22 points for Washington, and that's not bad.
So the defense is slowing down the offense after the high-scoring first 5 minutes. Steph with 10, Clay with 9. The Warrior lead at 5 after the first quarter. Beginning of the second quarter, Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Rob's Gold on Wood A with you. Klay Thompson, he gets that rest with Barbosa, and then Clay comes in to carry the load, and Steve Kerr's been doing this after the Iguodala injury with great success. For Washington, Ramon Sessions in with Jared Dudley, Nene, Bradley Beal, and Garrett Temple. No Brandon Rush, and so everyone in the guard rotation moves up a little bit tonight.
That is a foul. He rode him underneath him.
That's the kind of play, too. Everybody thinks of Bradley Beal as this great three-point shooter, and he is. But he's got a little more to his game. If he could just stay healthy and be more durable, the skill set for Bradley Beal's never been in doubt.
Yeah, this is game number 49. He's been to the line over 150 times, so he's going there 3 times a night.
Dropping in the free throw. Season ticket priority wait list. Over 24,000 and counting. This is your way to get priority presale access to playoff ticket locations at 888-GSW-HOOP with representatives ready to help you right now. Beal dropping them both in. So Livingston, Ian Clark, Barbosa with Harrison Barnes and Mo Spates. So that Sean Moe two-man game. Spates has Beal. And the weak side help came late.
Well, he took a little page out of a guard's book here when he finishes. He did not release at his height. He releases on the way up and then gets the foul. This is a great play. I mean, you get rid of the ball with control, and then the contact comes. Didn't make the free throw, but I haven't seen him do much of that. That was clever.
You see that pick and fade a lot with Mo, but that was a nice little pick and post. A losing the handle.
Just took it to trouble.
And Derek Richardson needs a little help.
They'll get it back, but there's an old thing about you got to take what the defense gives you, and you can't just force feed it all the time.
Derek Richardson just did a great thing, Jim.
Yep.
When you don't know as an official, don't guess. Let your two partners help you out. Kenny Mauer did.
The lead official did, yes.
And that's a lot of times guys would guess. Derek Richardson, I didn't get a look at it. Bradley Beal dropping in the jumper. Sometimes the best officiating is not calling something. They knocked it away. It's still Warrior ball. No, this is a grittier Washington team than we saw in D.C. I mean, they are exerting some defensive effort.
Yeah, the Warriors had 43 in the first quarter in D.C.
Back pocket 5, Ian Clark. Nice drop off, but Livingston was fouled. That was a beautiful distribution by Ian Clark.
Yeah, it appeared Livingston had a dunk. Let's see who gets him on the arm. Or did anybody? That ball should have gone in. It slipped out of his hands as well, didn't it?
I'll tell you, we've had some weird free throwing too. Spates is 82%. He misfired. Sean is 86%. He just missed a free throw. The Warriors leaving a few at the line. They've climbed up to 17th best in the NBA free throwing. And two of their better ones have shot a few astray.
Well, ball don't lie, because I don't think he was fouled. It was in a completion of the dunk, got pushed a little bit back, but it was so late that ball should have been flushed, and it slipped out of his hand.
Somewhere Rasheed Wallace just gave you an electronic high five, Jim. That's right. It wasn't a foul. And the big rebounder in the sky. And both free throws off iron.
Nice challenge by Clark. He knows about Beal and his prowess from the perimeter.
And Livingston makes up for the missed free throws.
That's what we've been used to seeing this year.
Bradley Beal inside. So Beal is rolling early. He's got 10.
Sean went for the steal there, and that's dangerous if you don't get it. Left him open.
Spates on Dudley. Oh, little separation and halfway down and out.
That is an unkind basket right there for the Warriors right now.
Clark and Barbosa have been flying around. One getting knocked out of bounds. Still Washington ball, but Randy Whitman sees his offense bottled up, but he's pleased with the defense, and they are right with the world champs. A rare low-scoring affair at Oracle with 9.5 remaining in the first half. Warrior lead at 3 with 9.5 remaining in the first half. Our Ram Trucks shots of the game. These are shots that don't get there. The Warriors are 3rd in the league in block shots. You come inside and there's a multitude of Warriors waiting on you, led by the big man and Andrew Bogut. And our Geico Advanced Analytics. Don't let the narrative that the Warriors defense has somehow slipped confused with the facts. They're 3rd best in field goal percentage defense from two-point land because Ron Adams has a lot of rim protectors and has good awareness inside.
Yeah, they just slipped recently on the three-point line. after being #1 the last couple of years here. Another one slips and falls.
On Sessions, tough floater. Mo Spates was there to challenge. For Washington, they have the tempo where they want it. The Warriors taking a lot of mid-range shots. The Warriors are shooting only 42%.
And they're not getting offensive rebounds tonight. Washington's doing a good job of one and done.
That's a nice pass to Gortat.
Just in time so they don't get a 3-second violation. Both Gortat and Dudley knew that.
I think you hit on it. When Randy Whitman shows you the first quarter in D.C., says, guys, we gave up 43. Let's play a little better defense. The Wizards have taken that to heart as Klay Thompson misfiring.
Well, they couldn't stop Thompson in 6 minutes. He had 9 points on 5 shots.
That is the game for Ramon Sessions. He loves to penetrate and find people inside.
He played well in Washington. He was 5 of 6 from the field. And they're going to give up another 3-point play. Get a little bit of an angle. You have to have help from Mo Spates, so that allows Gortat to slip in. Excuse me. Jared Dudley.
Ian Clark got there a little late. And so after being down 8, the Wizards, they've held the Warriors to 4 points in 4 minutes. That does not happen often in this building.
It's got the crowd very quiet.
Guy who can energize the crowd just shot the ball. Mo Spates. They could use a little Mo Buckets flurry right now. Sessions is a pick and roll practitioner. That time creating for himself. Dudley, another offensive rebound. This will be Washington ball. Never forget that Randy Whitman was a Bobby Knight disciple. He likes this defense. A year ago, as Jim mentioned, they were an elite defensive team. Beautiful. And Bradley Beal inside.
Only his 4th year, but missed a lot of games, so he's getting better and better.
Dudley right in Livingston's jersey.
Dudley's a good defender.
Warriors out of sorts a little bit.
Got to get rid of it.
At 7. And Mo will launch a 3. Harrison Barnes soaring for that rebound. Ian Clark, little mid-range. Dudley was going to take a charge. And Clark was smarter.
He stopped on a dime. Nice job.
And then he hit with a steal. Took it away from Sessions. Livingston the push ahead. The trailing Barnes got whacked. Ian Clark scoring on one end and the quick hands on the other.
Slide back a little bit. Personal 13 foul. Substitute for Washington. Number 2, John Wall returns. Oklahoma State, Andrew Bogut.
So Sessions short-lived on the court. John Wall comes back in.
So Otto Porter and John Wall, Bogut re-enter the fray.
They're leaving Dudley out there for defense and 3-point shooting.
Klay Thompson missing. Porter with the rebound. This stretch with Washington, Utah, Boston, and Portland, every one of those teams has playoff desperation kind of going on right now. All those games mean something.
Yeah.
And for the Warriors, they're feeling the full force of that.
It's going to take their best.
Miscommunication with Clark and Bogut.
Well, that's what they used to do when it was Bogut and Stephen Curry. And now they're always on the same page, and Bogut's going to have to give a little and get a little experience with Ian Clark out there.
Don't fake. I'm always going to throw.
Yeah, if you start to fake, I'm throwing the ball. You better complete the cut to the rim.
Tough cover for Harrison Barnes. Beal at 3. Harrison recovered, but Gortat inside.
He is more than serviceable. Like you said, almost 14 and 10 every night. Not bad numbers.
Plus, he's going to bang inside. There's Bogut finding Klay Thompson. What a whip pass there. Harrison Barnes, that's great defense on a streaking John Wall. Wall with the mid-range. Steve Kerr sensing that Washington kind of has the game at their tempo and their rhythm and the lead. The Warriors will use a timeout with 5.5 remaining in the first half.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. Warriors trail the Wizards by 2. I'm alongside Mary Lou Retton, Olympic gold medalist in gymnastics in the 1984 games in Los Angeles. And Mary Lou, we're so happy to have you here. It's really cool to meet you too. And, you know, I know that you're here. Tomorrow is the 100-day countdown to the Olympic trials for the American gymnastics team. Just how competitive is it to make this team right now?
This team is so good. And really, the hard part is going to be making that team. We could send, I've been telling people for all year that we could send 3 teams to Brazil and win gold, silver, and bronze. They're that good. And the Olympic trials are at the SAP Arena in San Jose. San Jose has been a wonderful support. We had our 2012 Olympic trials there, and we came back because they've just been phenomenal to work with.
Well, that's awesome, and good luck to all of the women that are training for a chance to get to Rio. You know, I was speaking with our play-by-play, Bob Fitzgerald, before the game about having the chance to talk with you, and he said, you know, the Warriors, when they get to playoffs, they have 7 games to have a chance to prove themselves. But for a gymnast, you train your whole life, and then there's this one big moment. How do you mentally execute at that level?
That's, you know, you think about it, every 4 years you get one, and usually gymnasts, we make it to 1. It's very rare that you make it to more than 1 Olympic Games. It's a matter of who's mentally tough, who can perform under the pressure when the pressure's on.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Mary Lou.
Go Warriors! Woo!
Well, Warriors lost another 3 points on that exchange.
Bradley Beal hit a 3. Curry couldn't get the layup to go down.
You know, I know
rebound.
Roz played at Stanford for 4 years, and I know she was a terrific defender, but Roz, you can post up Mary Lou.
Another steal, this one by Bradley Beal.
Not looking good.
Porter slicing through, forgot to make the layup. And Wall got the steal and the layup. I'll tell you right now, Washington's outplaying the Warriors. Steve Kerr's got to use the 22nd timeout.
Well, quick turnovers like that. Both teams with 7 turnovers, but the Warriors have given up 10 points off of those turnovers, more than they've gotten back from Washington.
So the Wizards, they've contested shots, they've controlled tempo, they've ran when it made sense to, but Steve Kerr had to use a full timeout, now a 22nd timeout. Bradley Beal's got 11 of his 15 here in the second. So the Warriors will go to Utah tonight, and then Authentic Fan Friday when the Celtics come to the Bay Area for their only visit. Fans getting a Leandro Barbosa cheer card at 888-GSW-HOOP. Be here Friday for the C's.
You know, I think a determining factor in this game has been John Wall. In 14 minutes, he's only taken 5 shots. He's got 4 assists. He averages over 10 assists. He's 3rd in the league in assists this year. He's career best at over 20 a game, but he is managing the game tonight, because sometimes he tends to try to take over and do everything and run that ball right down your throat time and after again. And tonight, they're playing a little bit slower, but it's more controlled and it's decisive, and he's in control right now.
And Wall has not gotten into an individual stat battle with Stephen Curry. Instead, he's run his team beautifully. Stephen inside and kicking it out. Ian Clark with the 3, and these are just shots the Warriors are not hitting.
Bogut couldn't get off the floor. I thought he had position on the rebound.
Draymond gave ground nicely. And Wall couldn't finish.
So interesting. Clark in with Curry.
Without Brandon Rush, Ian's playing off guard here.
No Brandon Rush, and still not Iguodala.
We talk about all the 70-point halves that the Warriors have had this year. I mean, they're being held to 37 and a 10-point quarter right now.
So they had about 18 or 19 70-point halves.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the pyrotechnics we get used to, but they're getting locked up in their own building. Play missing, and the tip won't go.
How many balls have we seen just roll off the rim? They're under 36% now.
They'll be happy to switch ends at halftime.
He likes a running start.
Gortat slipped it. Another three-point play.
See, in years past, John Wall would have forced the issue there and taken a shot himself because he knows he can get all the way to the basket most of the time. But he stops part way there. Now, Draymond Green did expose himself, but then that allowed Gortat to get open.
That will be the kind of play, too. If you get to the postseason, you got to give a playoff foul there. You need to whack Gortat and not give him the opportunity for the three-point play.
Well, that's the fourth and one I've seen tonight.
That's my point. That's a travel before the contact. So an 8-point lead has become a 9-point deficit. It's 9 unanswered for Washington. And the Warrior offense has stopped clicking.
The best spot for the Golden State apparel you should know. Snapbacks, beanie caps, hoodies, blue and gold. Reppin' my team, got the city on my sleeve in the All-Star jersey with the championship ring. All the fans in the Bay, rockin' that slate in the brand new Steph. Draymond the Clay for the latest Golden State fashion going on. You can find it on Warriors.com.
The Wizards with the 9-point advantage. Warriors 5 of 17 shooting in the quarter. Our AT&T U-verse rewind in Washington. Stephen Curry with his 51. He had 7 first-quarter threes. One of the more spectacular shooting performances the night before the Warriors went to the White House.
36 points in the first half for Stephen. That was a remarkable three where he gets the ball on the ground and just from his ankles picks it up and launches.
And our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. 36-5 in a season. Now that's a list to be on.
That may be the most impressive list I've seen this year in any category. That is incredible that he is joining that group.
And that's 30 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. And I think that's one area that's actually underrated for Stephen Curry. He is a great rebounder for his size.
Yes, he is. And most guards, they get rebounds like Westbrook does at the offensive end, but he gets his at the defensive end. He gets the long rebounds, and he fights for them.
It's a very important 245 here.
Yep.
The Warriors are dead in the water offensively. Washington has all kinds of confidence. Markieff Morris missing that three. You want this lead to be in a single-digit variety. It is at 9, but you want to be down 14 or 15 at the break. And that's great passing will get Draymond to the line.
And there's the kind of foul you're talking about.
That's how you commit a foul.
Garrett Temple says, I'm not going to let him score here on an easy one. He sealed off. Draymond Green did perfectly, and Temple made sure they wasn't going to convert.
Yeah, if you give the fingernail foul or the bad breath foul, that counts just the same, and a guy can make a layup. There's nothing wrong with grabbing his arm, making someone shoot 2 free throws. I think you are going to be throwing your voice in at halftime, Jim. I can hear Steve Kerr. We have 4 and 1s in the first half.
Yeah.
You know, that ain't going to cut it. You don't want 4 and 1s in a week where you just barely touch someone and let them lay it in. Free throws down. Top. Draymond sent him away. Shot clock at 4. Wall will track down his own miss at a fresh 24. Harrison Barnes is moving his feet nicely. Wall had nowhere to go. Harrison with the defense. Draymond knew Curry would be in the corner, and there's the three. That comes from playing with each other. That was beautiful. Porter misfiring. Draymond tipped it to where Clay could get it.
You're right, that last play, that's a turnover. Unless Curry does not go to the corner like he does. Because he wasn't there early enough.
Steph around Dudley inside with the left hand. Ball got hung up in the air. Dudley missing, and there's Curry rebounding.
Oh, we got a nice run here.
Steph in transition. And got caught up in the air.
Well, some people, there were two trailers. It was Green and Barnes, and neither one of them ran.
Draymond, great defense. Livingston with a dunk. Where'd that Washington 9-point lead go?
And they just turned the ball over.
It didn't take 2:45. It took 2 minutes.
It didn't take a halftime lecture.
Oracle comes alive. Defense leads to offense. 9 straight points. And the half the Wizards had controlled is now back to even. It's almost like this is the best team in the world.
Go 2 for 1 here. Stephen, you know he's always thinking of that. He didn't do it.
Curry 3, yes sir.
Well, they got 3.4 seconds to work, and maybe that's enough for Stephen if he gets near half court. And perhaps Washington will shoot a little earlier. That could help them as well.
The Wall trying to bleed as much clock as possible. Shot clock at 4. Beal at 3. And the step back is an air ball. Draymond couldn't quite push it ahead, but the Warriors finish on a 12-0 run. A little Curry flurry. And after trailing by 9, it's a 3-point lead at halftime. And so for the Warriors, they find the defense connected to the offense, get the building buzzing, and putting Washington on their heels. And Roz is alongside Stephen Curry.
Steph, you guys quickly recovered from a 9-point deficit. What are the things that you need as a team to just build your momentum, give you the boost you need?
We have confidence. I mean, nothing when I went in the second quarter, missing layups, turnovers. But we were aggressive, and eventually it clicked, so just stay the course.
Their defense held you to lower percentages. Was it their defense, or was it more on you guys?
It was more on us. I mean, they have a game plan, but we missed a lot of easy layups, open shots we normally make, so you can't let that side, if you're missing shots, affect the defense. And we were able to correct it in the second quarter, at the end of the quarter.
All right, thanks, Steph.
I'm out.
He said he's out of breath.
So 10 points, Roz, in 10 minutes, and then 12 points in 2 minutes. That's the way to finish off a quarter. Greg and Gary in the studio for Warrior Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box. Warriors up 3 on the Curry Cram tonight.
The great teams in this league can flip a switch, and this team is great, and they flipped the switch. They were down 9. Stanley was worried for just a nanosecond at 46-37, and then the last 2:24 of the half, Warriors go 12-0. Welcome to Warriors Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box. Greg Papa with Gary St. Jean. Wow. Once they flip that switch, they come at you in waves.
If you went to get the popcorn and cook it in 2 minutes, you missed all of that. That was a great draw and kick by Draymond to Steph. Look at that left-handed finish. You love it. And then I love this look ahead by Steph and the flush down there by Livingston. The ball movement was terrific again. Then he got a big on him, and Dudley breaks his ankle. Watch this, the crossover. Bada bing right there.
Bada
down
boom.
goes Dudley.
All right, 18 for Steph. But the Washington Wizards are playing hard. This is a big game for them. Bradley Beal is going to be a problem. You got to get him tonight, Sam.
You're right on. No doubt about it. They brought their A game. He's playing terrific, and they are defending.
All right, Keys coming up for Saint in the second half. I think it's going to be bada bing, bada boom. Only halfway home tonight, Noah. The Washington Wizards are playing hard, Stanley.
They
so
are.
what's your key for a second half here?
You know, they've won 6 out of 8, and I can see why. They're defending, but Randy Whitman wants to keep the pace down. So the key are going to be our defense to get us out in transition. You saw a great example of Draymond on the draw and kick on the penetration, an early J by Curry in the right corner. Look for more of that in the second half.
So you say speed the game up. The Warriors are #1 in the NBA in fast break points. The Wizards are #2, but they're playing more under control tonight. I think John Wall may look to push the pace a little bit himself. Let's get that in a saintly size at the team store. We got to get a new one, Saley, that says 2016 as well.
Our Jack in the Box at the half with the Warriors up 3. And the mark of an amazing team is to win games in a variety of ways. The Warriors will score 70.5 and outscore a team, or they'll be off-kilter a little bit offensively and then blitz them at the very end of the half to regain control of the ball game. They're just special when they get on those runs.
Well, we always trying to compare them to the great teams. Well, this is what great teams do. It reminds me of the Celtics of the 60s and the 80s and the Lakers of the 80s when they go on these incredible runs and then open up the game. Unfortunately, they started with a 9-point deficit. But in 2 minutes and 57 seconds of the second quarter, the last 2:57, 0 for 6 from the field for Washington. They had 2 turnovers. The Warriors come back. They make all 4 of their shots, including Steph Curry's couple of threes, get a couple of free throws, and all of a sudden, they just went on a blitzkrieg 12-0 run, and it changes the game.
So Bradley Beal, a reason why Washington's in the ball game. He leads them with 15. Our KFC Nashville Hot Shot Chart brought to you by Kentucky Fried Chicken. And it's not Beal threes, Jim. He was handling and scoring inside.
He did a nice job managing in his 17.5 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, but he got to the line 4 times, and that helped. But they have not shot well from three-point range, Washington, only 1 of 8.
You mentioned that run to end the half. 12-0, and a Curry flurry as he hit the 3. Then don't forget he can drive and finish.
Well, his 2 threes that he made, Bob, were off of turnovers. I love that play right there. That got the whole crowd excited. And here, Jared Dudley doesn't have a chance. So 2 turnovers led to 6 points off those turnovers by his 2 threes.
And so for the Warriors, it's kind of a bare-knuckle game. A lot of bump and grind. You've had Washington score in the paint, and yet the Curry flurry gives you the 3-point lead at the break. Big back-to-back. Finish off Washington, Utah tomorrow, and the work not nearly done with the third quarter on the way. The Warrior lead at 3, and the oddest second quarter where they had 10 points in the first 9 minutes and then 12 in the closing run to take the 3-point lead as we begin the second half. I'm Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Rouse Gold on Wood A with you. Oh no. Gortat just dropped the ball, and Bogut's going to be called for a foul. That was an oddity here. No, that's a better angle on the shove. Derek Richardson had it right.
He kind of wrapped him around, didn't he?
Yep. Markieff Morris makes the Warriors pay with a 3.
He hasn't hurt them tonight.
He's only 2 of 6. Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. Draymond, that 3 looked good. He's only taken 4 shots tonight, but he's got 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists.
They'll be all right if they just reduce the turnovers. They like to get 14 or less in a game, and they accumulated 9 in that first half. So the allotment's up.
Curry deflecting that into the front row. Well, the other issue, too, by taking the air out of the ball and having fewer possessions, Washington's hanging in the game. So if you misfire and never get a shot attempt with your turnovers, on a game like tonight, it's even doubly dangerous.
And that's how lesser teams can stay in games.
Yep. Morris hit 1-3. Barnes with the rebound on the miss. Steph Curry, that's a one-man fast break. And Wall whacked it out of bounds.
But that can still hurt because the hand's part of the ball. Let's see if he gets the hand. He just knocked it right out. He got all ball. And even if he hits the hand, not a foul, but sometimes it can hurt your finger that way. That is almost a karate chop. I've broken my thumb that way.
Getting whacked.
Yep.
Klay Thompson. That was a little flat there. Klay got off to the good start, 4 of 5, but he's 1 for his last 6.
Well, he came out of the game and it got him off kilter.
Yep. Lost that rhythm.
Beal lost his footing.
Ball passed up to 3. And that's what really good players have figured out. Just because the 3 is there, a couple dribbles, let the defender fly by, a wide open 16-footer is better than a contested 3. John Wall's been very under control tonight. Klay Thompson, even for Klay, that's a very difficult shot. And still Warrior ball with 9 to shoot.
Yeah, Wall's game is composed now in his 6th year. Still only 25 years of age. The #1 pick back in 2010. After Kentucky, we know it's only 1 year. That's a given.
Kentucky Wildcats D-League team. Curry just recognized it at the end of the shot clock buzzer, and Bogut, a fresh 24.
Not many people with the ball in his hands at that time could get it out of his hands in time, but Stephen Curry did. That would have been a 24-second violation from everyone else in the league.
Clock at 5. Klay with a tough take.
He got the body bump and still completed it. Stopped the ball. How fast Wall gets into the front court.
Curry's hands are everywhere tonight. That was a beautiful defensive play again. And very active.
I'm glad Harrison was ready for that pass.
Washington's run a lot of bodies at Curry tonight.
They switch there.
Bogut. And he is fouled. Draymond saw him, but credit Otto Porter from coming from the weak side.
With his foul, charge, 22.
Klay circling, full circle. And gets a nice little runner.
Something he could not have done his first couple of years in the league. His game continues to expand. And he can always do that. At 3. Barely in his hands, and Klay Thompson, feet not even set, and railed it.
I thought Bogut was going to have a couple of free throws, but it just worked out better for the three-point shot. And then they give up the back door.
And Klay, frustrated with himself there, let Markieff Morris cut back door. Steph around Morris to lay it up and out. Here comes Bradley Beal, full head of steam. Time Wall, feet set, missing the 3. There's times I just like to watch Bogut and Draymond play together. And defensively, they are something else. That time, Draymond just batted Bogut the rebound.
Yeah, they work in tandem.
Harrison Barnes, very smooth. Only taken 3 shots. He's made 2 of them.
See, when he has a live dribble, that'll keep his defender at bay. And he can just give a little jab step and go rise up in the air for a shot.
Beal missing there. Draymond will track it down. His 10th board. And the Draymond Express, the backboard pass.
Yes, it was indeed.
Somewhere in Hawaii, Don Nelson is smiling. He loved that backboard pass.
He's smiling from Maui.
Markieff Morris is heating up.
Now he's hurt him with 2 threes.
He's got 8 of his 10 here in the quarter. Bogut rolling on the kick out. And Harrison at 3, halfway down and out. What a well-contested game. A lot of pretty rugged defense. Different players taking turns heating up, and Beal. They figured that Clay is overplaying, Jim, and that's the second time they've gotten backdoor dunk. So good awareness by the Wizards. Steve Kerr will take time. 6:45 remaining in the third. And Draymond and Bogut, that tandem defensively, clicking on the offensive end. Big fella, let me put it off the window. And Mo Spates appreciating the big man move.
Ahmed Fareed here with a Sportsnet Central update. The 49ers taking another look at Cal's Jared Goff. According to Fox Sports, Goff has a workout scheduled with the Niners this week. They have the 7th overall pick. The report says the Browns, who hold the 2nd overall pick, will host the quarterback for a workout as well. Fitz and JB, back to you.
All right, Ahmed. The Browns have the 2nd pick, and they just signed Robert Griffin III. Come on. Let Goff come to the Niners. Warrior lead at 3. Wall and Beal, Curry and Thompson. But as Jim had pointed out, more than just scoring tonight, as John Wall, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Beal has a nice game going, but Wall has run his team nicely.
And he's happy to let Beal take the majority of the shots from the backcourt.
Clay was trying to throw it back to Bogut.
Well, that was a lob.
That's what Wall's doing tonight. Good find for Otto Porter. We check in with Roz.
Coach Kerr encouraged his team the last time out. He said, tighten up our defense. Remember, we're getting ready for playoffs now. We're really close, but we can't keep having the defensive errors.
That's what Washington's hoping, to get ready for the playoffs. That's why they're playing a diligent game tonight.
Harrison nowhere to go there. The Warriors are shooting only 41%. Washington's D has been excellent. Wizards shooting 44%. Ball missing there. And Curry will push. And Steph, let me heat things up.
When he feels that there's no hesitation, doesn't matter about the shot clock, the lack of rebounders or anything, he just somehow knows it's going to go in.
Also, too, they've been all over Curry defensively. He had some free space there. He said, I'm shooting this before bodies come after me. Wall feed set. And missed that 3 long. And Harrison Barnes streaking.
Love the leak out. Good chance to take. Wall 0 for 3 from three-point range tonight. He has improved from his first few years in the league. He's at 35%.
We talked about all the Warrior assists. You don't need one when Curry's in transition. But when the Warriors get rebounds, you run and you are rewarded.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. Warriors up 6 on the Wizards. The Warriors are 66-7, and each night it seems like they crush NBA record after NBA record. But if there's one area that they want to improve, it's on the defensive end. And Andrew Bogut said, we've been not great all year, average at best on defense. We need to take onus on that end because come playoffs, we can't win that way. I hope that we don't treat it like an on and off switch. And so, JB, I wanted to ask you, how concerned are you about the Warriors' consistency of defense?
You know, I shouldn't say this, but I just think they kind of know how to come to life when it really counts. And part of that is maybe they're getting rest while still playing all of these games. And that's what I sincerely believe, and I hope it follows that path, of course.
I got to work on Andrew's math, because if you're third best in defensive field goal percentage and there's only 30 teams, I don't know that you're average.
But they've been slipping lately is what it's probably referring to. But and what I'm saying is, essentially, you can turn it on and off. And
that can be dangerous.
Candor, it can be dangerous, but in all candor, great teams know how to turn on and off. Get to the playoffs, you got to turn it on all the time. It's a dangerous game to play, I understand.
Harrison Barnes with a deep 2.
But how many times have we seen them come back? Okay, so they've proven they can come back after being a little lackadaisical.
That ball knocked away. Steph diving on the deck.
He got pushed out of the way.
We got a jump ball.
He had a beat on the ball, and I think Markieff Morris got away with a little shove. Let's watch the left eye. What do you think?
It was just a little shove. He was only the MVP of the league.
Only moved him 4 feet.
And Varejao read the play. And Varejao will get to the line.
What a smart move. He just read where Markieff Morris was going to tip it. Steve Kerr gets a kick out of it along with Luke. He just took off, and Gortat let him escape.
The beauty of it was he also locked up Gortat from behind and kind of moved him as he ran for the ball. That was a very clever veteran move. Andy knows all the tricks.
Well, these are freebies, but you'd like to get one of them, because you expected Markieff to control that tap.
And Varejao, 3 of 4 free throwing tonight. He'll take that from a big man. And equaling the Warriors' largest lead right now at 9. John Wall changes speed. Curry bothering Porter.
Good jump switch.
And Steph a little too aggressive.
Precisely. You've got to know when to lay off a little bit. Shot clock is winding down. Someone is going to make his one-on-one move right in front of the official. And that's the little mistake that he made. He got a little too aggressive.
And Nene checking in. Randy Whitman needs to find some offense for Washington. And Porter, we talked about him playing much better basketball, kind of finding his own game right now.
More consistent.
12 points a game. Draymond 3. He was in a slump for a while, but that's been gone for a couple games. That 3 looks pure right now. Garrett Temple answers with a 3. Just over the head of Harrison Barnes. Now, those are the turnovers you live with, though, because that's a pass of aggression.
To some degree. Now, when they threw the long one earlier, he had a dunk. This time, there were a couple defenders back, and it was outside the lane. So even if he catches it, he wasn't going to complete the play and get a shot. It would have been a jump shot forced. So I don't really like that.
Nene. Just hope Nene does not go on one of his binges and start to score in bunches. There's how the distributor. Draymond, good look inside, better defense. Varejao stays with it, and it's knocked out of bounds again. So a couple good blocks, and Varejao patted Morris on the rear end. He said, hey,
look at that personality.
You guys got me. Good job.
Yeah, he had a reverse layup. He thought he was home free. Great recovery from the Wizards.
Watch Anderson Varejao, and you remember it is a game.
Let's see what happens here on the out-of-bounds play. Just kind of routine. Didn't get a layup, which they often do.
Varejao shot clock at 1. He knows it. And hit iron. I'm impressed with Washington's defense.
You should be.
I really am. Everybody in blue was playing really hard tonight. Markieff Morris, he's been the scorer in this third quarter.
And Wall found him. Wall had a shot, and he said he's got a better one.
So Morris, limited in the first half, has 11 of his 13 here. And Barbosa from Draymond.
How many NBA teams get away with plays like that? Just ever since you played basketball as a little kid, you pass and cut to the hoop. Usually don't get it back, and he had a layup.
Steph made Wall give it up. That pass kick. They'll recycle the shot clock to 14.
This is the best I've seen John Wall play. I know he's scored better. I know he's shot better.
He's playing like a point guard, though.
Boy, is he managing their offense.
Also, too, they've limited Curry to 7 of 18. Steph's got 21, but he has had to work.
Yeah, let's not overlook that. So Wall comes out. He's already got his assist average of 10.
And he's doing that with only 2 turnovers. Nene says, hey, I got Curry on me. Steph reaches and fouls on the pass. That will be non-shooting.
Yeah, Nene, if he'd have held on to about a half second longer, he could have gotten 2 free throws.
Hey, for Steph, you stick your nose in there with big Nene lowering that shoulder. That could be quite the collision.
You saw the strong hands from Nene. He wasn't going to dislodge it.
This is ISO Nene, and Bergeau knows how to play him. That's the second time he's picked him. And that will be one that Steve Kerr does not like. He wants the simple before the spectacular.
I haven't seen him throw a spectacular pass away in a long time.
No.
You know?
Bergeau fouling Markieff Morris.
We've seen him throw some spectacular passes. Remember that left hand one at half court about 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago? On the run, on the fly, much like that one. In fact, this was a lot easier, but you got to live with it. Nice quarter for Morris.
And 2 in the first half. He's got 11 here in the third. And so if you're Washington, 11 from Porter, 13 from Morris, 17 from Beal, and John Wall's got 10 assists. It's kind of a perfect game for the Wizards, and they're holding the Warriors to 43% shooting. So 2-point ball game. Warriors very briefly had a 10-point lead. Washington led by 9 with 2:45 remaining in the first half.
There's certainly better field goal percentage in this quarter than the Warriors.
That pass going 100 miles an hour. So the turnovers piling up a little bit.
He turned 180 degrees and threw it without even looking at it. There were 2 defenders there. That had little or no chance.
Sessions misfiring. But the Warriors have a quarter closing run as they did in the first half. Livingston dropping in the jumper.
He challenged Nene, and Nene never left the floor. He just out-quicked him.
Sessions wants to drive, so you got to be careful with that. They post up Nene. He traveled.
"14 years in the league."
I know, that's crazy.
It is.
Put it this way, he was traded for Antonio McDyess at one point.
Went to Denver. 33 years of age.
Yep.
He had a huge contract when he came from Denver to Washington.
Shot clock at 5. Draymond, his 3 to beat the buzzer. Perfect.
How big have those been tonight for him? 3 threes.
Markieff Morris misfiring. And Barbosa, 3-quarter court, but that will do it. So they score the last 12 of the second quarter, the last 5 of the third quarter. Draymond has more threes than Clay tonight. 3 of 5. He's got 15, 12, and 8. At a 7-point lead heading into the fourth. Toyota game summary heading into the fourth quarter. The Warriors haven't let the Wizards get a 30-point quarter. Finally dropped one on top of Washington. Draymond Green has just been special with 15, 12, and 8. He's got 15 points on 6 shots.
Coming off one of his patented triple-doubles, he'll get that again tonight.
Livingston and Harrison Barnes, Barbosa, Ian Clark, and Mo Spates. And Livingston, beautiful handoff and finish. Love the speed that Barbosa and Livingston executed that handoff. It's like a 4x100 relay baton drop-off.
Well, let's see if they can get a double-digit lead here. Starts at this end. That's a travel by Beal, by the way.
Hay missing, and Barbosa will push. Leandro, flying runner, couldn't quite bank it. Bradley Beal, Markieff Morris, Ramon Sessions, Nene, and Garrett Temple. It's going to be an offensive foul. Look at the speed that Barbosa and Livingston run this play at. Sean is in full sprint.
Yep, coming right around the little handoff and almost lost it again as he did in the first half. Put his other second hand on it. Just turned the corner. That's what I call turning the corner.
Harrison will draw the foul. You think about the Warriors tonight. No Iguodala, no Ezeli, no Brandon Rush, no Kevon Looney. I mean, they're dropping bodies here, Jim. I mean, the back end of a back-to-back going to Utah.
Steve was asked, are you looking to get an injury exception and add a player? And he said no. He said if we lose another one, possibly, but right now he's not thinking about it.
Oh, another handoff, another layup.
That was my favorite play right there. Two-man game on the right-hand side. You just kind of lull the defender into it, and the burst of speed.
Beal missing that three. Ian Clark sold out nicely to defend that. And Sean, 100 miles an hour again.
Oops, excuse me, a charge.
That's the pass and crash.
Yeah, you can see that one coming to turnover. He just couldn't put on the brakes. He saw it there. He was looking elsewhere, and then by the time he realized it, can't do much about it. But they got the 11-point lead.
But you see just those little bursts of speed. Then Washington wants to slow it down and execute in the half court. Mo Spates, no buckets inside. And the pass to Barbosa, flying to the rim, and he will draw the foul. Leandro is throwing his body around tonight.
I said last game that Mo Spates is playing better defense. Well, he just prevented the two, and this catch right in front of the Wizards bench. He might have been a pretty good wide receiver, too.
I was going to say.
I tell you what, not many guys will go into traffic, give up their bodies. Leandro does that. You can throw it down there. He's going to make a run at catching the ball. He's not going to just let it go out of bounds.
Authentic fan of the game. Chrissy has won 2 tickets to the Celtics game. Uploading a photo to @CSN Authentic on Instagram and cheering on the Warriors.
Chrissy Poo?
Chrissy Poo.
Okay. And the reason I mentioned that about Barbosa, you know, some players in the league, if you throw a long pass like that and you're going to have bodies crash up in the air, they wouldn't go after it. And you have to learn those plays. Barbosa will go after it.
Bradley Beal missing short. Spates with a rebound. This reserve unit has had a brilliant first 2 minutes of the fourth. Expanding that 7-point lead to 13. And Ian Clark inside. It just curls out.
That'll be interference from Mo. It was going out anyway. These are the ones you count. You say, okay, I got it. And how did that spin off? But it did. Disappointing for Ian.
We've talked about the Warrior defense and a little slippage the last couple games, but holding Washington to 41% shooting.
Got a blocking foul.
Mo committing the foul. What Kenny Mauer told him is, I think up top you were fine, but I got you with the block.
And I shouldn't say this, but if this ball goes, well, they may have called the foul, but wouldn't surprise me if Kenny didn't blow that whistle if the ball had gone.
Well, you know, that really is the best officiating. Did the contact create an advantage? If you lay that in, well, you were contacted, but it's incidental versus illegal. You missed that. Nope, that contact created an advantage. You missed a shot. You got to call a foul. And only the great ones, Kenny Mauer, you'll see him in the finals.
That's why he waited.
Can do that instantaneously.
He can assess the situation and make the judgment.
Also, Kenny's one of those great officials, Jim. He realized that there's not 20,000 people here at Oracle that paid to see him. they paid to see the players. Harrison Barnes, tough post up.
I like the finish. He wasn't going to be denied there.
4 straight games in double digits for Harrison. Oh, hey, what a finish. 180 reverse.
Oh, he can play a lot smaller. I mean, he's got skills that little men have.
Speights. He passed up that shot because it's early in the shot clock. And the Warriors are getting what they want when they move it. And Harrison, that just squirted out of his hand. Shot it over everything. It's Mo with the foul, fighting through the Nene screen. So 8:57 remaining in the ball game, and the timeout. Draymond Green, three-point shooting gave them the lead. The bench has expanded it. Warrior basketball on CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Togo Sandwiches. Big, fresh Togos. The Warriors got their biggest lead at 14 on big hops from Stephen Curry in that first half. Our McDonald's true story. We know who owns the most threes in the season. Curry's got the top 3 seasons of all time. But Klay Thompson is on the list this year, tracking down George McCloud with a couple more threes.
Yeah, he says he's never going to challenge his splash brother Curry. He already concedes Stephen Curry, but he's going. I think he's going to. You know, Curry had the record of 272, then 286. Klay's going to get his 300 one of these years.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I can see that. I think the question is, does Steph get 400 this season?
Well, he's got to be about, can't miss any games. If he does, he's got to make up for it, but he's got to get about 5 a night at least.
No Spades rattling that out. Matter of fact, Steph has 5 tonight. Been doing the math, partner. I like that. Hey, we'll get to the line. Marcus Thornton has checked in. Yeah, Randy Whitman's looking for one of those instant offense guys. Before we started calling Mo Buckets, that's Marcus Thornton's nickname, Little Buckets, because he can get red hot. We saw him in Sacramento put on a show shooting against the Warriors. Going to the playoffs, go in style with the City National Bank Premium Suites. You can secure priority access to the best available premium suite playoff locations at 888-GSW-HOOP. You can do that tonight.
I didn't respond to you because I knew that suite promo was coming. But Marcus Thornton is in for one reason, and that is to shoot the ball.
Yes.
This is his 3rd team of the season. Just acquired. This is only the 9th game in a Washington uniform.
Speights has Thornton on a switch. And he shoots right over him, and he'll get to the line. I love the recognition of this unit. They had Harrison on a post-up, Speights on a post-up. The dribble handoffs like our Barbosa and Livingston layups. They really have executed well in these first 4 minutes. They've added to the lead, began the quarter up 7. And every minute they play is a minute that Draymond and Steph and Bogut don't have to play, with Utah looming tomorrow on the back end of a back-to-back.
Yeah, that's a. Remember I said we're going to get in at 2 o'clock? Well, we're actually getting in at 2:15, 2:45 at the hotel. Of course, you lose an hour, but it's a tough night. You got to sleep in if you can.
Spates splitting the free throws.
Let's see if Washington has one more run in them.
There'll be no sleeping in. I'll be awake in time to do the Fitz and Brooks show tomorrow.
Ooh.
And then do the game.
Oh, that didn't come on till noon. That's 1 o'clock Salt Lake time. You can't fool me.
And Thornton couldn't quite handle that skip pass.
Got to react it very slowly.
You know, in a perfect world, Steve Kerr would love to see this league get to 17-18. Not have to bring Curry or Draymond back at all.
Of course. That's what he's thinking.
It's a long way to go. Nice pass inside. Livingston finding Mo Spates.
Back to 14 again.
Hay on the post up. Wheels around. Leaves it on the iron, but he will draw the foul.
That's the old Nene shot that we've seen through all the years.
Yeah, that it's just
that little finger roll. The nice footwork. He's got terrific footwork.
Crowd got to look at that replay, which is why they don't agree.
He's not a good free throw shooter, about 57%. There's the spin. And I could say there's the foul, but that would be a lie.
That might have been my favorite line of the season from you. I love that.
It was the truth.
And both free throws were missed.
There you go.
There are forces at work that we cannot explain. Harrison post up. John Wall, good defense.
You know, Nene has never averaged over 14 and a half a game. Did it a couple times, but that's it in his career.
Wall had it knocked out of bounds. Still Wizard ball.
And I say that because he got a huge, huge contract in Denver.
Steve Kerr is going for the quick pin right now. Steph and Draymond in the lead at 14. Mo Spates and Sean Livingston, again, great performances.
8 games after this, so I already figured out it'd be about 5.5 threes for Steph the rest of the way.
That's right.
You can see this quarter, Washington with only 4. Defense has been better here, which is what they wanted.
Defense has been good. The half-court execution offensively has been good. Harrison, he played Markieff Morris perfectly.
And he was smart. He knew it was a pretty tough shot. He'd already bodied him a little bit.
And Harrison, the big step and the finish.
Great play at both ends of the floor. I love the way he played defense there. He said, okay, if he makes it, he earns it.
And that time, you're going to give a foul? You think they talked at halftime? Harrison Barnes said, yeah, John Wall, go make 2 free throws. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a dirty play. Just commit a foul, make it a hard foul. I love, too, the awareness of Steph Curry as a leader, Jim. Harrison played that good defense, and he's running the floor. Steph knows he's the trailer. Let me give him a little sugar. Let Harrison finish that and score. And I mean, that was really, really a nice sequence.
And there was no hesitation on the part of Harrison.
Right. No, that's Steph said, I saw you playing the D. I saw you hustling to be the trailer. Let me reward you and let you score on that play.
Well, how about an 80% shooter missing both?
Washington 13 of 21 from the line.
65% tonight.
Curry banked in a 3. And he banked in a 3.
They're up by 19. Now, they're going to ask him that after the game. Did you call it? He's got to admit, no, not straight on.
Play, good defense.
You got the numbers here.
The push ahead. And either Barbosa or Clark, the pass kind of split them. So 5:51 remaining. Looking for 54 straight at home. And when you're on pace to make 400 threes, you'll make them a bunch of different ways. Steph Curry with 24. The fans loving it.
The 72 chase continues as Clay and crew can't afford to overlook a tough roadie in Salt Lake. Warriors Jazz tomorrow at 5 on CSN Bay Area and streaming on csnbayarea.com and NBC Sports Live Extra.
Warriors have pushed it to 19. 6,500 miles to see Steph from Buenos Aires. Okay. Our Taco Bell hysteria, Liv Moss moment. If you came 6,500 miles, you saw Curry's best dunk of his career in transition with the rim rock. And before Garrett Temple could get there. Very tight game throughout. 5-point Warrior lead after 1, 3 at half, 7 at the end of 3. And they're keeping track of Steph's dunks now.
How about this, though? 4 points for Washington in this quarter in over 6 minutes.
The Warriors have turned it around inside. Turned the faucet off on the points in the paint and scored themselves. Marcus Thornton misfiring. James Michael McAdoo getting some minutes here. Play the show and go. And McAdoo fouled from behind.
I know there are more important things for Washington, but John Wall has had 9 consecutive double-doubles, points and assists. He's got the assists, but he's got 8 points. He's been in double-figure scoring for 31 consecutive games. So he'd like to get that, but he'd also would have rather had the win. 3-time All-Star.
So McAdoo missing the free throws. One of the highlights tonight, seeing our friend Craig Sager from TNT. I got to spend the Athens, Beijing, and London Olympics with my friend Craig, and he's
everybody's friend.
He is an inspiration.
What a lovely family.
A tremendous amount of courage, and the crowd welcoming and appreciating one of our buddies.
Well, I tell you, I saw that Real Sports Brian Gumbel show on HBO about Craig. And
yep.
Tragic and tough and wonderful in his attitude. Superb.
Battling leukemia and doing it publicly.
Those young kids.
Klay Thompson missing that 3. Ball just lost the handle. It's deflected out of bounds.
Substitution for Washington, number 1, Jared Dudley returns.
Looks like he's coming out. So he's going to finish with the 8 points.
Well, because they're looking at the rest of this trip with Sacramento and Phoenix and then the Clippers. And Kelly Oubre will check in, the number 1 pick. 15th selection overall. It really was the second unit, Jim, the first 4 minutes of the 4th.
Yes.
That opened this game up. J.J. Hickson, who was nearly a Warrior a couple years ago. He actually had a jersey in the New Orleans locker room.
I was surprised. Denver waived him.
Portland claimed him on waivers. He had to leave the Warriors and go to Portland. And Dudley finishing there.
Oh, that's, yeah, we saw him down in New Orleans. He had the uniform on.
Had the jersey. They're going to sign him. Hey, welcome to the Warriors. Oh, by the way, just got a call. Portland claimed you. Goodbye. You're a trailblazer.
Jumped the gun a little bit.
Pass to McAdoo.
Good to see him get on the board after missing the free throws.
Warriors have dropped the hammer defensively here in the 4th. Hickson.
Another and 1.
Where's foul charge to Draymond Green.
Draymond Green will pick up the personal. Well, Ron Adams always looks at 40% defensive field goal percentage, and Washington's right at 40% for the night. And That's the first check mark of the Warriors D. If you hold a team to 40% or below, you're getting it done. Washington having won 6 out of 8. Do they have a final push to sneak in? Steph Curry, nice finish with the right hand. Steph in 26, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Draymond's 1 assist away from a triple-double.
Steph's 6 of 8 from threes tonight.
Another and one.
Ooh, that's number 6 tonight.
Where's foul charge to Draymond Green, third personal.
Draymond Green, 15 points, 15 boards, 9 assists on 4 of 6 shooting.
That is a stat line. That is a line.
There's efficiency, and then there's efficiency.
3 of 4 from 3 and 4 for 4 from the line. 4 of 6 from the field.
Oubre out of Kansas, the 15th pick. He's behind a few of the wing players in the Washington rotation. The Markieff Morris trade stopped that in terms of playing time for the rookie. Clay with a delivery, and McAdoo couldn't finish. Nixon running the floor. Steve Kerr's going to take a timeout after that play. Cannot have that, or no one runs back to the nail and turns around defensively.
The lead goes quickly from 19 to 13.
13-point lead, looking to equal last year's win total and get to 67 wins. Warrior lead at 13 with 3:01 remaining, and Draymond Green, all part of the big plays the Togo's way. Whether it was a big 3, whether it was setting screens, whether it was 15 rebounds, 9 assists, 15 points. The big plays the Togo's way from one of the Warrior All-Stars.
Can he get that assist? Tough to do. When your time is limited here, he's staying in the game to get the assist, I would think.
I think also, too, at 13, Steve is like, let's get one more basket or get one more minute to go off the clock here.
No question about that.
I think that's the other. If it was still 19, you might see Steph and Clay and Draymond sitting down.
And there it is.
Oh, we'll get to the line. I think even the crowd knows he's an assist shy of a triple-double.
He thought that was in the bag. I know there's a foul here, but he's kind of gets short-armed. Here's the thing with James Michael McAdoo. He's afraid of a charge.
Yes.
Instead of just going strongly in there and finishing that play and getting an and one, he was concerned about a charge. Otherwise, Draymond has a triple-double.
We will be in Utah tomorrow. The pregame live coming your way at 5. Every game the rest of the way on CSN Bay Area. And this chase for history
There's
continuing.
There's just lots of history to be chased.
Well, you know how many teams have ever had 67 wins in back-to-back seasons? None.
0. Yep.
You're 2 minutes and 26 seconds away from seeing that happen.
The Bulls didn't. They didn't. The Bulls, when they had 72, they didn't come back with.
They had 65 and 72.
Okay. The next year, I have to look that one up.
65 and 72, and the Warriors are working on 67 and soon 67. That's a blocking foul.
Whereas foul charge, Stephen Curry, third personal.
For Steph Curry, this is an interesting game. At the best dunk of his career, he banked in a 3. He's got 26, 7, and 6. And yet he probably would say, hey, the Wizards did a good job guarding me. I'm 9 of 20.
I think you're right.
And the beauty of the Warriors that Clay had the back-to-back 40-point games. And he has 16 tonight, but Harrison Barnes, 4 straight games of double-digit scoring. He's got 12, and Draymond's got 15.
And Steph may fall below the 30-point per game average, down to 29.9.
And I'm glad you had us look that up on the Bulls, Jim. They had 65, 72, 69. So you're
That's
right.
what I thought.
They did that, yes.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Okay, the second team to be 67 and 67.
I remember reading that somewhere recently.
Very good. Mosa couldn't quite finish that. Another and one. That will be something that the Warriors will not be happy about tonight.
Hickson is, and you've heard me say this before, and it's not derogatory because he can score, but he is a great
garbage player.
Oh, he is a great garbage scorer. He is tremendous when the game is out of reach.
I love when you identify those guys because...
Isn't he, though?
No, you're right. No, they come in and clean it up.
He could get double figures in a short time when the final score doesn't matter. I can't even see. What's he got now, by the way?
He's got 7 in 5 minutes.
Okay.
And they're going to him again. And he's got another dunk. The Warriors right now got to be a little careful the final minute 15. You're playing the clock and the Wizards, but
it's all over.
You're in a single-digit ball game. You wanted to post up Dudley.
But Dudley fronted there. It would have been a tough pass.
Right.
And then you got weak side help coming from Hickson. Could have been a turnover. Maybe it was better that it went out of bounds. 6 to shoot.
Shot clock at 2. Clay recognizes. Did well to hit iron, but this one not quite done yet. Washington hits a 3.
Thornton might take it here. Yep.
There is that pass inside.
He took the shot. It was blocked.
And Oubre.
And an and one.
Man.
We've said that too many times tonight.
I mean, when you're up 9, you can live with giving up 2s. But not 3-point plays.
Got there too late. He's already at the rim. Critical mistake.
Now the Warriors have to bring Steph and Harrison back in.
Well, because you think they're going to start playing the foul game, so you have to have Stephen on the floor.
No question.
6-point game if he makes this, which is 2 possessions. They don't even need to foul this time. They could take it down a little further.
If I were Washington, I would foul Draymond Green.
Not now.
But they waited way too long.
Exactly.
Play inside. Do not foul someone shooting a layup. And out of bounds, Washington turns it over, and that will do it for the game.
A little bit of drama at the end.
Yeah, a little bit like the Clipper finish, where the Warriors had the big advantage, and LA had a cosmetic run to make it close. And foul Harrison Barnes here. So 13-1 Wizards run after the Warriors had built that 19-point lead. It's going to be win 67. It's going to be 54 in a row at home. Greg and Gary will talk about it on Warrior Postgame Live, presented by Honda. And then it's the travel and a very talented, young, large Utah Jazz team. with Rudy Gobert and Derek Favors and Gordon Hayward. And a tough place to play. I mean, I always ask you about the altitude there.
Yes.
Other than Denver, Utah, second highest altitude of any road city in the NBA. So the free throws down. Randy Whitman will have one game-ending play, but the Warriors are going to win it. So the Warrior lead at 8 with 12 seconds left. We've talked about this pretty busy part of the schedule. At Utah tomorrow, then Boston, Portland, all three of them with playoff implications. And all those teams playing very hard at this juncture of the season. Minnesota has had some nice wins as of late. And then the Spurs on April 7th.
Back-to-back again at San Antonio.
Yeah, well,
has to be.
Both times in San Antonio this year, we're back into the back-to-back. Thornton missing. Steph will track it down. No need to shoot. And the Warriors are, just say it because it's fun to say, 67-7.
So nice ring to it.
67-7. They equal last year's win total. 54 in a row at home. The longest home winning streak in professional sports history. And it all continues with the chase for history. 5 away from Chicago's magical 72-10. And the Warriors just keep on winning. They do it with 4 players in double figures. And Draymond, Harrison, Steph, and Clay getting it done, holding off a game Wizards squad. So the Warriors win at 102-94. Warrior postgame live presented by Honda. Let all the streaks continue onward to Utah. And the chase for history is alive.
A much better defensive performance tonight by the Warriors. They hold the Washington Wizards to under 42% shooting, just 5 for 23 from the floor. Draymond Green, 1 assist away from a triple-double, 15 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 assists. The anchor of the Warriors defense tonight. They were not good defensively against the Dallas Mavericks on Friday. Gave up 120. Weren't great against Philadelphia, a team that averages under 100. Gave up 103 on Sunday. Much better defensively tonight, holding the Washington Wizards to only 94 points, and they stretch their record to 67-7. Let's head back to Oracle Arena. Roz with Draymond.
Draymond, the Warriors have so many weapons. There's Steph, there's Clay. You almost had another triple-double tonight. How do you think the other team is picking their poison?
I mean, like a lot of teams are just switching everything, trying to take away our three-point shooting. And when they do that, we just try to stay within the flow of the game, not necessarily try to go for every ISO on the post or one-on-one with Steph. Just try to keep the flow. And when we do that, everything goes well as opposed to just trying to go one-on-one.
Why do you think teams are lately starting to do this against you guys?
Well, they're so afraid of our three-point shooting, so they figure if they take away the three-point shooting that they can beat us. And, you know, I think as the games go on, you know, everybody's doing it. We're figuring it out more and more. And by the time the playoffs come, I think we'll have it all the way together.
You know, Draymond, coming out of the All-Star break, there was a small rough patch, but now another near triple-double. Do you feel more like yourself, more comfortable now?
I do. You know, after the All-Star break, we went right on the road. Before the All-Star break, we were on the road. You know, it makes a difference with me when I'm able to be at home, you know, get shots up, a lot of shots up, and get in the gym extra. You know, when we're on the road and it's 6, 7 games at a time, you know, it's
No, he's definitely trying to get you right now.
You know, it gets tough because I need my reps, you know, so being at home, able to get all the extra stuff in helps me a lot.
And you mentioned being on the road. You're about to go on the road, a back-to-back against the Utah team that plays you guys really tough. How big is this challenge?
It's big, you know, because that's a very good team fighting for a playoff spot, you know, and they play us tough each and every time. So, you know, this will be a great challenge for us, but, you know, we've handled it well this year, and hopefully we can go in there tomorrow and get a win.
All right, thanks, Draymond.
Thank you.
Guys?
Well, I tell you, when you look at the way Draymond is playing, the court vision comes into play in the postgame because he didn't get wet. But he was looking, Jim. He was waiting.
Oh, yes, he was.
He was waiting to see if anyone was going to come get him. For the Warriors, the magic number is 4 right now to put away San Antonio and clinch that 1 seed. Still waiting to see who their opponent would be. They'll have some say in it in dealing with Utah tomorrow night, but that's going to go on probably to the last week of the season.
Yeah, Houston came back big tonight, so they're still a game under 500, but they are in the 8th spot.
And for the Warriors, there's nothing wrong with being tested in different ways. This was a slower tempo game, a game they were down 9. They had the nice run, and then the second unit opened the 4th quarter with those great 4 minutes and expanded things, and that decided the game.
Yeah, and I like that small lineup. They came back in, did a super job. A little bit of run from Washington, but, you know, this team can play different ways.
Yep.
They can play up and down. We thought it was going to be an up and down game because both teams are 1 and 2 in fast break points, but that did not transpire tonight. A whole different game plan for Washington. And John Wall controlled in there, but in the final analysis, they're down by 9, and that run, 12-0 run to finish the second quarter, changed things for them.
And until some garbage time, they had held Washington to 40% shooting for the game. And that's something that defensively, I thought the Warriors defense was pretty solid the whole game.
It was, but it got much better throughout that second half. They've got to work on not fouling people when they're shooting because there were too many and ones tonight. But the Warriors find a way to win because they've got great personnel. They're good in all aspects of the game. When they need defense, they can put on their defense. When they need rebounding, when they need block shots, they've got the personnel to do that. And when it comes down to shooting, they make 11 threes. And Washington only makes 5 tonight. Again, that's a big difference.
Yeah, think about it, Pop. I can just see Steve Kerr. Next week, fouling practice. Guys are going to go in for layups, and we're going to knock them down. No more and ones. That'll be the next thing they work on. I don't know if St. Adnelli had any and one fouling practices, but there was a lot of those tonight that didn't need to happen.
No, he just liked the backboard pass tonight that was finally executed properly. Sleep fast tonight, boys. Quick turnaround tomorrow as we chase history to 72 and beyond. The Warriors now have 8 games to play. They're 36-0 at home, and now 54 in a row dating back to last year, 67-7 overall. The Warriors are very soon going to get to 1,000 threes on the year. They're on pace for over 1,050. They made 11 more, and Steph's going to make a 3 in every single game, maybe the rest of his career. But the big number with 8 to go, 4 for the magic number to be the number 1 seed throughout the playoffs, 5 to tie 72, and 6 of the best 8. And they will get to 73. Welcome to Honda Warriors postgame live. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean. You liked the backboard pass tonight, didn't you? That was your favorite.
I loved it. And, you know, Draymond and Bogues, they play both ends of the floor beautifully together. They key the defense from the rear. And on offense, we've seen in the high pick and roll action when Draymond goes in there for the lob. So tonight it's off the dribble. He throws it up and Bogues goes and gets it. That was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It really was.
Let's take a look at it. He was 1 assist away from a triple-double, would have been his 13th of the year. But this was the highlight. Nelly tried to do the backboard pass for one training camp like every day. The problem was they missed the backboard. If it hit the backboard, it worked, but they never could hit the backboard.
Pop, we talk with players from that team, and you want to get a laugh, all we do is start talking about that, and everybody busts up because there were balls going over the backboard in this way, and Nelly go, cut it out.
Yeah. All right, the Wizards had us a little frightened. Late in the second quarter, they went off on a 9-0 run to go 46-37, and then it's our BMW turning point. Draymond makes a couple of free throws. Steph with this quick release, a catch and a splash, all in one motion, Saintly. A driving layup, a Sean Livingston leak out, and all of a sudden, you go off on a 12-0 run to close the half. And, of course, Steph's got to give you, after the Livingston lay-in, he's got to give you a late half 3, which he does every game, right?
Well, we're just used to seeing that, but there's very few people in the league that can make that kind of a shot. And, Pop, that was kind of indicative of the game. You know, Washington really, I thought, had a good game plan. They tried to really slow down the game, fewer possessions. They tried to take away the 3 ball. And I thought Washington played a darn good game. I thought John Wall ran his club terrific. I thought Beal had some good run, and that did Morris. But, you know, the Warriors had an answer for him. And, you know, Clay started out fabulous. And you look at Steph's game, the numbers are really good. He banks in a 3 and has a dunk of the year. really out of sorts a little bit, but there he is, just usage of the screen, and gets himself set. Now, here we go. Watch him tomahawk this.
That was a heck of a dunk, St. Lee.
Oh, it really was. It was terrific.
And
you
the
love
one
this
here, because we always talk about a guy as a quick jumper for a rebound and a quick second jumper.
Yeah.
He may be the quickest jumper I've seen to be cocked and loaded and ready to shoot in tremendous balance. It's unreal to watch him just catch the ball so fast, go right up and shoot it.
Yeah, he's already in what we call the bent position. His knees are bent as his hips are, and he's catching it here. He's ready to go up in one motion. Nobody's release is quicker, and you saw many ways that he makes the three. He just made them again tonight. Who knows? Can he get to 400?
Going to be hard, I think. I think it's going to be
that.
hard. He says
He'd
6 for 8 tonight. He's going to average almost 6 a game the rest of the year. We shall see. He can get hot. He can make 12 in one night or 13, break the record, 14, and go beyond. But he made 6 of 8 tonight. Draymond shot the ball really well tonight. He wound up 3 of 4 on threes. He filled in every category of the box score. St. Lee scored the ball, rebounded it, 15, 16. He had 9 assists. When he has his shoulders square and his feet are set, he's a really good three-point shooter.
Well, he really is. And, you know, teams are trying to play the pick-and-roll coverage different. He's not getting as much space as he was early in the year. But there's his court vision right there. You just love that about him.
Right there.
That's the one you're talking about.
Yep.
There was no
Coming into
hesitation. He caught it, and he just let it go. And he really had a rhythm tonight. He talked about being at home, getting more reps, getting more extra shooting in, and he's really comfortable the way he's playing now. We know he's rebounding great, and he's really assisting the team well. But if he's knocking down the 3-ball, wow, you know, he's really, really special.
His shot is back. It was vacant there for a while, but it's been back for about a week or so. And he's the anchor of your defense, whether it's the back line or the perimeter defense. He switches, he guards everybody. And again, the Dallas game, the head coach was not happy. He said horrific, and they weren't great against Philadelphia on Sunday, but tonight they guarded like the Warriors for most of the game.
They really did, and I love the way they contained the dribble up on top. They didn't allow a lot of paint penetration. They contested well. They dominated their defensive board. That got them out in the open floor. I think Steve Kerr's going to look at this game and feel really good about the way his team defended. And it shows you that if you want to get up and down with them, they'll play you that way. But if you want to play at this tempo, which is more like a playoff tempo, they can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the business because they're so sound individually as well as the group. They defend together better than anybody else in the league. And you just mentioned Bogues and Draymond in the back. They're directing traffic. Big key to good defense is your bigs communicating, calling out the pick-and-roll coverage, what you're going to do on wing penetration, and they're just outstanding in that area.
Quinn Snyder and the Utah Jazz will try to slow down the game tomorrow night, a lot like Randy Whitman of the Washington Wizards. For just the second time all year, the Warriors are going to fly on an airplane directly after a home game. They're going to pack, go to the airport, and go to Salt Lake City. Toughest back-to-back in the NBA is to go to Denver, but this is the second toughest back-to-back. I know what you want to see one more time, right? Nene's going to make that cross-court pass. No, Nene. He's going to swipe it. And look at him get in there and cram it just in time.
He's cupping that
Temple right on his back. And then he had a little something to say to Temple.
Yeah, well, hey, don't mess around with me.